Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a look at something quite specific. The Center for Artificial Intelligence and Sustainable Development, CAISD for short.
That's right.
Think of this as your way into understanding a really interesting initiative in Africa. It's where, cutting-edge AI meets these huge global goals around sustainable development.
Exactly. And we've been digging into CAISD's own materials, what they say their mission is, how they actually work, their strategic goals.
Yeah, it's a chance to get past just talking about AI's potential and see how it's, supposedly being put into practice on the ground there. So our mission today really is to get a handle on CAISD's approach. How are they using AI for sustainable development in Africa, and why should you care? Why is this significant? Let's dive in.
Okay. So starting with the basics, CAISD has a pretty clear vision. They want to be the leading hub for AI focused on sustainable development right across Africa.
A leading hub. Okay.
Yeah. Their mission is essentially to harness AI, to use it to tackle the really big challenges the continent faces. And they plan to do that by sparking innovation, building partnerships, universities, industry, government, all geared towards sustainability.
Right. So it's not just about the tech itself. It sounds like it's about making real, tangible improvements, boosting productivity, economic growth, maybe even governance.
Precisely.
Okay,
That's the goal. And the way they're set up is quite interesting. They operate within the Central University of Technology of Free State.
Okay.
So they have that academic grounding, that resource base.
Right.
But they're also designed to be, agile and innovative, almost like a startup within a university structure.
That's an interesting mix, university stability plus startup agility. How do they actually, operate day to day? What are their main activities?
Well, they have several key pillars. Operationally speaking, research and development is a big one, obviously. Creating AI tools specifically for African challenges.
Excellent.
Then there are educational programs. Building local talent is huge for them. Community engagement is also vital, making sure the AI actually fits the needs of the people it's supposed to help.
Right, not just parachuting tech in.
Exactly. Plus, policy advocacy, trying to shape how AI is used responsibly. And knowledge sharing, and of course, monitoring and evaluating their own impact, making sure it works.
That sounds very thorough. Okay, let's get more specific. What are they actually aiming to achieve? You mentioned strategic objectives.
Yes, they lay out 5 key ones. First up, enhancing agriculture with AI.
Agriculture, okay.
Things like improving productivity, making farming more efficient, more sustainable, ultimately boosting food security. And what's interesting isn't just using sensors, but potentially blending AI with traditional farming knowledge, making it really context-specific.
That makes a lot of sense, given agriculture's importance in Africa. What's next on their list?
Second is using AI in the mining sector. The focus here is on improving knowledge transfer between the big mining companies and academia.
For what purpose?
To make operations more efficient, but also, and this is key, to promote more sustainable mining practices.
Mining is massive in Africa, so efficiency and sustainability there could have huge ripple effects. What's the third objective?
Third, they want to apply AI more broadly to tackle a wider range of environmental, social, and economic issues.
Okay.
This is where their interdisciplinary focus really kicks in. They talk about partnerships, research across different fields, and building local capacity through training.
So it expands beyond just those first 2 sectors.
Exactly. It's about using AI as a tool for diverse problems. Then, the fourth objective is all about developing local solutions. They really emphasize involving African students, researchers, practitioners in the projects.
So building it from the ground up, locally.
Precisely. Making sure the AI is relevant, fit for the actual context, not just imported tech.
That feels incredibly important for long-term success. Okay, and the final one.
The fifth is education. It's a major pillar. Designing and delivering programs to give people the necessary skills, both in AI and in sustainable development. Building that human capital.
Okay, so it's a really holistic strategy. R&D, specific applications, local grounding, and skills development. Now, you mentioned how they were set up. What's the origin story of CLFA?
Yeah, the background is interesting. It started as a collaboration between 2 organizations, IDEA International and GLFA.
Okay.
And they partnered with the Central University of Technology, CUT, to get it off the ground. But they also have plans to bring more universities into the fold.
So it's a partnership model from the start. What's the big idea behind bringing all these different groups together?
The goal is to create a nexus, a real meeting point. Academia, industry, civil society, government, all collaborating.
To what end?
To foster innovation, mainly. and to help knowledge move between these sectors. So research doesn't just stay in the lab, it gets translated into practical applications, maybe even commercial products.
I see.
And their ambition, as we said, is to be that leading hub for AI-driven sustainable development, specifically in sub-Saharan Africa.
It sounds like a very deliberate attempt to build an entire ecosystem. Let's zoom out a bit. Why is AI seen as such a big deal for Africa's development anyway? What's the transformative potential here?
Well, stepping back, AI brings some truly powerful capabilities to the table. Its power in analyzing vast data sets, finding hidden patterns, automating tasks. These are tools we haven't really had before at this scale for tackling development challenges.
Can you give some concrete examples? How does that translate on the ground?
Okay, think about agriculture again. Optimizing water or fertilizer use AI can help make that much more precise, boosting yields, cutting waste.
Right.
Or in mining, predictive maintenance for equipment, better safety, monitoring environmental impact in real time for sustainability. We're also seeing AI used for better climate resilience models or making infrastructure like power grids or transport more efficient.
It sounds almost like it could allow Africa to sort of jump ahead, skip some of the traditional, maybe less efficient development stages.
That's exactly the idea of leapfrogging, yes.
Yeah.
By adopting these advanced technologies strategically, the hope is Africa can bypass some older, maybe dirtier or less effective development pathways.
But it's not automatic, right?
Absolutely not. And this is crucial. Making it work responsibly means really understanding the local context, the specific challenges, the skills gaps, the ethical questions. You can't just drop AI in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why CAISD's focus on specific sectors like agriculture and mining, tailored for Africa, is so important.
Right, that adaptation piece is key. Now, CISD talks a lot about aligning with the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. Can you unpack some of those connections for us?
Yes, definitely. It's actually quite striking how their work maps onto the SDGs. Take their agriculture work that's a direct line to SDG 2, Zero Hunger. Using AI for precision agriculture can really move the needle on food production.
Clear link there. What about the mining focus?
That connects strongly to SDG 12, Responsible Consumption and Production, making mining more efficient, more sustainable. That's about better resource management, less environmental damage.
Okay.
And, thinking bigger picture about progress, their work using AI for smart development feeds into SDG 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure.
What about climate change? That's SDG 13, right?
Exactly. AI is huge for SDG 13. Climate action. Advanced modeling helps understand climate impacts better, develop adaptation strategies, mitigation efforts.
And it's not just environmental.
Not at all. They're education programs. That's SDG 4, quality education, giving people those future-ready AI skills.
So people and planet, what about the collaborative aspect you mentioned?
That hits SDG 17, Partnerships for the Goals. Their whole model is built on partnership. And by building local AI talent, they're contributing to SDG 8, decent work, and economic growth.
Okay.
And finally, their work on ethical AI, on policy frameworks that's vital for SDG 10, reduced inequalities, and SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions, ensuring AI benefits everyone fairly and responsibly.
Wow, it really does touch on a wide range of those goals. It shows how interconnected this work is. So lastly, what specific research challenges are they tackling head on?
Right, this gets down to the nitty-gritty of their research agenda. They're focusing on several key areas. One is food security and climate resilience. That's the precision agriculture piece we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Another is sustainable mining and resource management, using AI for things like real-time monitoring, reducing the environmental footprint.
Those seem like core challenges for the continent. What else?
They're also looking at digital inclusion, specifically advancing natural language processing, that's AI understanding human language for indigenous African languages.
Oh, that's interesting. To make AI more accessible.
Exactly. Break down language barriers. Then there's the AI skill development and workforce readiness tied to their education goals. And finally, research into ethical AI and policy, developing those guidelines for responsible adoption, ensuring a fair digital shift.
So broad research scope, too.
Yes. Ultimately, the aim is to really cement AI as a powerful tool for sustainable development, making a real broad impact across Africa.
Okay, so wrapping this up, it sounds like CAISD is a really focused, strategic effort,
Yeah.
using AI's power for Africa's big sustainable development hurdles.
That's the takeaway, I think, is that the innovation, the collaboration, but also that deep focus on local relevance. That's what seems key.
So what does this mean for you, listening? We've explored how this center in Africa is trying to apply AI to everything from food security to mining sustainability. It makes you think, doesn't it? Consider the ripple effects. Could the models, the lessons being learned right there in Africa, offer insights for other parts of the world facing similar development challenges? Something to ponder. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.